A growl echoed through the moonlit forest. Wulfric, a wolf with fur like storm clouds, was hungry. His emerald eyes scanned the forest floor, alight with predatory hunger. Tonight, his usual deer prey had eluded him. Suddenly, a flicker of movement in the undergrowth. Hope surged through Wulfric. He stalked towards the rustling, muscles coiled tight. But instead of a deer, he found a young man, unconscious and sprawled amongst the ferns. Wulfric circled the figure, sniffing cautiously. The man, clad in traveler's clothes, carried a backpack. A sharp glint caught his eye. Curiosity battled with hunger. Who was this trespasser? The wolf lowered his head, hot breath tickling the man's face. The stranger's eyes fluttered open. Fear clawed at his throat as he took in his surroundings. A thrill-seeker by nature, he craved adventure, but this was more than he bargained for. Wulfric didn't react. Kai's gaze fell upon the wolf, his eyes widening in terror. It was Wulfric, the alpha of the Blackwood pack, a creature of legend whispered to be as old as the temple itself. Kai, however, wasn't interested in legends. He was after something far more tangible, a hidden chamber rumored to hold the lost treasures of the temple. Wulfric, infamous for his insatiable greed, had other plans. He'd caught wind of Kai's pursuit and saw it as an opportunity. He'd let the human find the treasure, then snatch it all for himself. Little did either of them know, they were mere pawns in a much larger game. Their unlikely partnership began at the edge of Blackwood Forest. Sunlight filtered through ancient oaks, dappling the ground where they walked. The only sounds were the gurgle of a nearby stream and the occasional rustle of unseen creatures. The sky painted in hues of orange and purple. The air grew heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, and an unsettling feeling of being watched prickled at Kai's skin. Kai paused for a breather. A galaxy of stars, impossibly bright, spilled across the inky black sky. As he rested, his gaze drifted upwards. A familiar pang of grief twisted in his gut. The vastness of the starry expanse took him down memory lane, to a time etched with laughter and warmth. He remembered Anya, his younger sister, her eyes sparkling with the same celestial light as the moon above. The memory of her smile, so full of life, was a stark contrast to the emptiness that had consumed him since her disappearance near those ancient ruins. Years had blurred together, each sunrise a reminder of the promise etched in his heart, a promise to find Anya. The rumors of hidden treasures within the old Buddha temple weren't just a thrill for Kai. They were a desperate lifeline. Perhaps, just perhaps, the key to Anya's return lay within those fabled walls. This wasn't just an adventure. It was a pilgrimage fueled by a grief that gnawed at him like a relentless wolf, urging him ever deeper into the unknown. Finally, after days of following the stream, they emerged into a clearing bathed in the ethereal glow of the full moon. The sight that greeted them was breathtaking. The silhouette of the old Buddha temple rose from the earth, its once magnificent structure now worn and weathered by time. The air crackled with an ancient power, both alluring and intimidating. But guarding the temple entrance was another wolf, its fur as black as night. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural red light, and a low growl rumbled from its throat. Recognition flickered in Wulfric's emerald eyes. This was no ordinary creature. It was a shadow, a guardian of this sacred place. A fierce battle ensued. Wulfric, fueled by his primal instincts and the alpha's need to protect his newfound companion, fought with surprising agility for his size. The Black Wolf was a formidable opponent, but in the end, Wulfric's experience and cunning prevailed. The shadow let out a final mournful cry before dissolving into a wisp of smoke, leaving an unsettling silence in its wake. Exhausted but triumphant, Wulfric nudged open the massive temple doors. Kai, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement, followed closely behind. Inside, the temple was a labyrinth of dusty corridors and cavernous halls. Cobwebs draped from the high ceilings, and an oppressive silence hung heavy in the air. Their search for treasure led them deeper into the temple's heart. They navigated through crumbling passageways, their way lit only by the occasional shaft of moonlight filtering through cracks in the ceiling. The air grew colder, and the weight of the past pressed down on them. Finally, they reached a hidden chamber, but instead of glittering jewels and gold statues, they found something far more unexpected. A single ornately carved stone pedestal stood in the center of the room. Atop it rested a pulsating orb of pure white light, radiating an energy that filled the chamber with a soft, ethereal glow. Kai approached cautiously, mesmerized by the orb's mesmerizing light. Wulfric let out a low growl, a warning rumble in his chest. This was not what they had expected, but the power emanating from the orb was undeniable. It pulsed with a strange energy, beckoning them closer, promising something far greater than any earthly treasure. Their quest for riches had taken an unexpected turn, leading them to a discovery that transcended material wealth. The true treasure, it seemed, lay not in gold and jewels, but in the secrets this ancient orb held. What mysteries did it contain? What power did it possess? As they stood there, bathed in the orb's otherworldly light, one thing was certain: their adventure was far from over. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it.